Hi all, welcome to my channel, welcome to my world. This is the world of Wayne. Sit back, make yourself a coffee, because we're about to do the next 4 stages of the Fanhome release of Build Your Own R2-D2. I think out of the whole build, these 4 stages are actually the hardest. Why do I say they're the hardest? Well, when I built the other one, which you can see in the background here, a lot of people had problems when they booted up their machine that their dome would swish around really quick, swish back really quick, and then nothing else happened. And that's mainly to do with some of the components that we're doing today. So I'm going to take my time, show you hopefully exactly how they go so no one gets that problem. The other thing to mention is, as you can see, I've now got my batteries, and if you still need to get your batteries, I put links in the video description and you can get them. I've done them from Ecolux in the UK, but I've also put some places in the US where you can get them from as well, because in future packs that we've got coming, and remember this comes up to issue 86, there's only 100 stages in this, so there's only 14 stages to go. You're gonna get one of these. I think this might be coming in the next pack. This is a battery primer, and that's going to be priming all of those batteries up. So it's probably a good idea now to get the batteries that you're going to need. Now, if you want to get this collection for yourself, I have put the link to the Fanhome website there, and you can get this all the way from pack 1. Check out Fanhome because they've added 4 new things as well. You've got the Starship Enterprise, the Eleanor Mustang, the Ecto 1, and what's the other one? I'm missing one. The DeLorean from Back to the Future, which is just sitting there. Look, as a matter of fact, what you see in the background here is all Fanhome. Look, we've got the R2 and the DeLorean together. But anyway, let's get on with this. Without further ado, let's get cracking. Okay, so we're going to jump straight into those sensors. So in stage 83, as you can see here, lots to do. This is what we've got here. We're going to be completing the ring that we started on in the last pack, which looked like that. And then we're going to be doing these sensors, putting these sensors together, putting them on the ring so they look like that. And then we're actually going to put this ring onto the main body that we've been working on. And then we're going to be testing the sensors to make sure they're working. As long as we get to this stage and everything's working good, I'm a happy person. So, just going to start by laying this out. Again, as you see, all the numbers are up on these sections here. So I want to make sure that's exactly the same when I put this part of the ring in. And then I do have these clips here, which once again are going to go underneath. Get this lined up. And we'll do that on both sides. That's excellent. And they're held in with 2x4mm screws. On this build, they're the silver ones that look just like that. So get these in. That's one side. Turn it around here. And that's the second side there. One complete ring. Put that to one side. Okay, now it's time to get these sensors out. This is what the sensors look like. And the most important thing on here is that you've got the left, put that down there gently, and the right. If these are in the wrong way, they're not plugged in right, if they've been switched around when you put these in, you're gonna have a bad time. So we've got those two there. We've also got the wires, which are gonna go into these. So what I'm actually gonna do is just pull the wire like that, but keep the band on. So I have got some excess on this side. Do the same with the smaller plug, pull, keep the rest batched up just like that. So making sure you put these wires in the right way, I'm going to now plug these into each sensor. So one at the top, and again, make sure it's in all the way. It should fit flush. Perfect. Again, when you're putting these in, make sure you don't bend the pins when you put them in. Because believe me, a lot of the problems when you finally do this build and boot it up, because these aren't pushed in enough as well. So they are pushed in. I'm happy with that. Okay, so if we take this holder now, you can see we've got a number on there. What we're going to do is take the sensor like this, and that's going to fit on top of that and fit flush in there like that there. Now, we're going to be holding that in with some of the black 2.3 by 6mm screws. So that's one. Put one on the other side here. And that one's 2. We want to make sure there's no wobble in this at all. So I'm going to keep tightening this until it's one unit. And that is nice and solid like that. I'm going to do the same on the other sensor. And this one's 2, and again, get that in nice and tight. Okay, we want to take the ring now and make sure we're having it this way round, so the backs of these are facing down, and we want this section here in front of us, and it's the left sensor I want first. So grab the sensor, make sure it's got an L, as you can just see there. It's just going to go into this section just here. So the way this goes in, it's going to fit in nice and flush in there like that. Once again, that's held in with the black 2.3 by 6mm screws. And again, when we put these in, we do want to make sure that they're in nice and tight. And then in a similar way, we're just going to do exactly the same for the right hand side one on this side here. So once again, that's left and right, but when I spin it over, obviously it's the other way around now. So the left one's on this side, the right one's on this side. But that is the sensors on. Now those sensors are in, the last thing to do is put this stop flange in here. That's just going to go over the top there, and that's held in with one of these silver flanged screws that look like this. So get that in nice and tight. Perfect. And now that looks just like that. So bringing over the whole of the body of R2 that we've been working on, it's now time to put all of this together. So the sensors are going at the back where this rod is. And then the sides will just fit into these locating lugs on each side. One there and one there. So that's all lined up. It's held in by 2.5 by 4mm screws. These look like the ones that we put in here, but they're slightly chunkier like that. So there's 2 each side to put in. So I'll just get these in here now. This is the last one going in there now. And then the last one that we've got at the back here, which is going into this post here, is 2.5 by 8mm screw. So quite a long one, looking just like that. That's just going down here. And then that's that top ring in place. Now, we're going to be testing the sensors. So taking the battery box here with the sensors that I've been working on, I'm just going to be taking the left sensor first. Now obviously, because this is upside down now, that's on the opposite side. And that's just going to plug into the board just here above the power supply. Just like that. So that's in. I'm going to turn on the battery box here, and you will see a green light coming on there like that. Now, if I was to put a ruler in between these bits, that light should turn out, as you can see. So, sensors on, break the beam, sensor goes off. That is how you can test this sensor's working. So let's do the same on the right hand side. Turn it off, unplug, plug the right hand side one in, turn it on, green light, and again put a ruler in there. As you can see, turns off, on, off, on. So all my sensors are working. And that is all there is to do in that stage. Now in stage 84, this is the one that I had the most problems with last time. And that is that we're going to be making the arms and the pivots for the front of the R2-D2 unit. So we're going to be putting these together, and these can be a little bit tricky with the orientation of how each part goes. So again, I'm going to take this quite slow. So at the end of it, we've got the arms in place here. We're going to be mounting this to the front body panel and putting the motor in so the arms are actually ready to operate. And we have got a test board again so we can check these out. Now when you open these, bear in mind these pivot sections come different from the case. They're actually loose in the bag, so make sure you keep those. Okay. The first thing we want is the upper arm, and this is labelled BP50, as you can see in there. I need the double crank and one of these pivots that look like that. So the first thing I'm going to do is put the pivot through this hole, holding it this way. So that goes all the way through. Get it through the other side there, like that. That's the pivot in place. Now on the other side, as it comes out, we're going to be taking the crank, and that's just going to fit over that section like that there. And we're going to hold that crank in place with a 2.3 by 6mm self-tapping screw there. So this is one of these black ones here. Let's get that in. Perfect. So that section should look like that. On the other arm here, we're going to be taking this crank, looks slightly different, and then the other pivot. That's going to go in this side again with that leading tab first, like that. We're putting this on the other side here, and then just like last time, we're putting a 2.3 by 6mm screw in there. So we've got now two arms that look just like that. Put them to one side because I'm going to build the clutch now. Now the clutch is made of this outer case here, a metal bracket there, the clutch central part there, and then our favourite screw, the 2 by 6mm screw. So the way this goes is the clutch here goes into this back plate, just like that. The front plate goes over the top, and then we secure that in with the screws. And here's the second one going in. So we now have a working clutch. Now we're going to be assembling this linkage, and if we don't follow this to the T, this is going to get really confusing. So I'm taking out all of the parts for the linkages. Okay, we're then going to be putting this top piece, looking like that, just over the top of the clutch like this. Now that's going to be held in by a 2.3 by 6mm screw. These have got a slightly bigger head on them, just through the top there. Now I'm turning this upside down, and I want to open these little packs of rods. They call them con rods, and I'm going to be putting it through one side of this lever I've just put in. Make sure it goes all the way through, just like that. We're also going to be taking another one, putting it in the other side. We're going to be putting either one of these adapters, doesn't matter if it's short or long, just over the top of each one. So one on that side there, and the other one on this side here. Now going forward, we've got a smaller one and a larger one, as you can see there, and that looks like that. Now if I lay this way round so that the larger one is on my right hand side and the smaller one's on my left, I'm going to be putting another one of these connectors through the top this time of this section here. As you can see, that's gone in perfect. And then I want to take the single cranked arm, and that's going to go underneath on this section just here, like that. So if you have a look at the top camera, the rod's going in from the bottom there, and it's going in from the top there, so that looks like that. We'll take the other arm, and I'm going to put another one of these connectors just through this side, and then that's going through the top of the one that we've got on the other side here. So there we go. All those linkages are in place, like that. So bringing over the main body where this goes, the first thing we're going to do is we're going to be putting these arms in each section. And as we do this, let's get these all in, I'm going to be dropping the clutch into, oops, get in there, this middle section just here. Now we want both of these to fit into the pivots on that side there and that side just there. So they're all the way in. When they're in, I want to close these up so that they're fitting flat. Oops, it fell out. And I'm just holding them from underneath, so they are now fitting flush in there like that. Now I want to keep these into place, so I've got these braces here that are going to fit over the top of each section. So one in that side there, and one on the other side just here. Now they're held in with the black screws that look like this. Just keep that where it is for a second, because I'm just going to be building the motor section up into this now. So the motor is going to fit into this body here and come out the other side. Just get that through so it fits flush in there like that. It's going to be held in with 2 really tiny silver screws and just one on the other side here. So they're in like that. The motor's in. Put the top on like this. Once again, that's going to be held in by 2 of the black screws. And they are just being held in from the middle there. So get these in. So the motor's going to go into the clutch. It has got a certain way round it goes. It's a D-shaped little pattern. So that goes in like that. Then I can rotate that round so this fits in perfectly into position on these pegs here. Now when it's in position, you want to make sure that this arm on the left is down and the one on the right is up. So it's looking like that at the moment. Okay. And I'll get this locked in. So make sure it's square in there. And 4 screws to hold this down. So if you've done it right, those arms should be nice and flush in there, as you can see. Now, it's the fun part. We're going to get to check this. So what I'm going to do is just pull out a little bit of the lead here. And I'm going to use the test board, and we're going to be plugging it into this point just here at the top, nearest to the orange cable. Make sure it's round the right way. There we go. That's in like that. Just going to turn it this way round and turn it on. And then theoretically, when I press this button, they should open. When I press this button, they should close. So let's see if this works. This button. There you go. Open. Close. Keep your finger on the button. Open. Close. I love that. Open. Close. I'm laughing because I've managed to do that first time and that never happened last time. So, arms are working. Everyone's happy. That's all there is to do in that stage. You can see why this is a tricky one now, can't you? Okay, it gets a little bit easier now because we've got another body panel detail to do. So we're going to be putting all of these details just onto another panel. So by the end of it, it's looking like that. We're also going to be adding these shoulder pieces to the frame. I don't know if you remember these. We had these a while back. I can't even remember what stage they came in, but we're now going to have a chance to put these on. So they've gave us a whole heap of new screws, as you can see here. Look at them. We've got loads. Keep them to one side. First thing I'm going to do is take this frame and we're going to be adding this to the blue background here. So it slots in just like that. This is going to be going into this side of the new panel that we've just got in this stage. Turn it over. That's going to be held in with 2x4 black self-tapping screws. They actually come in this pack. So just open this all up. And one in this side. In the same way, we're going to be taking this plate here and again putting this one behind it so it fits like that. That's going to be going into the panels this way round, and again it should fit nice and flush in there like that. Turn it over, and again these little tiny 2.4 mil screws are going to hold that in, 4 of them this time. We can put this shoulder piece in, but it will get fixed in later on because we're not actually securing this down. It's just going to push in like that. So we can put this panel now to one side. So bringing back the main unit now, we're going to be putting these shoulder sockets on. Now these came in stages, I believe, 60 and 61. They're going to be going just onto the frame here. So the way they go is kind of like at an angle. So they fit like that. There is some locating lugs on here which will help put them in the way they go. It's actually pointing towards the back where the sensors are here. Now that's going to be held in with some 2.5 by 8 mil screws. They came in this pack as well. Now it's actually, once it's lined up, it's actually held in from the other side here. So I'm just going to lie that down. Perfect. and get this in from this side. Now we need 4 of these to go on. Pretty hard to get these in when you're got this in the other way, but there you go. That's one side in. That looks just like that. Going to do exactly the same on the other side. This is the last one going in on this side. Nice and tight. Excellent. And that is all there is to do in that stage. So the last stage, stage 86, and so far the recording time for this is 1 hour 10 minutes. Told you it takes a while. Again, we're going to be making a compartment, a tall compartment here. So once that's done, we'll have a completed compartment looking like that. This is then going to go into the plate, so we get to join the plates together as well. The first thing I'm going to do is take this silver section, push this over the top, so it goes in like that, and I'm closing that off with this top section there. This is then going onto this section just here, like that. This section here, D-shaped pattern, is going to go onto that end like that. And then we've got a little tab which is going into the middle of these two sections here, and that's held in with a 2x8mm screw with a nut. Get this the right way round. It's going to go in this side, put the nut in the other side, and I'll get this tightened up. Now we're going to put this into this compartment tray here. So with the nut side facing out, it's just going to go into this section just there. Held in from the other side with a 2.3 by 6mm black screw that looks like that. And get that all the way in. That section there, or this tool, is free to just fold down like that. We then got a compartment door to put on. So to do that, pretty much like we did last time, I'm going to be securing these little brackets just to the outside of these hinges. Now when we put these in, we're putting them in with an 11mm black screw that looks like that. Long one, this one. So I'm just going to start that off. Whoops. And then push it into the other side here. And get that screwed in. When we've got them, just straighten out those hinges, and then we can put them into the square sections just of this compartment here. 1 and 2. Whoops, get that one in again. Perfect. And then just hold that in with some of the 2.3 by 6mm screws. So the compartment door is now on. It can open and close. Bring over the panel that we worked on in the previous stage, and this is going to be going into that panel. It's going to be fitting in kind of like, let's just line this up, getting that in on both sides. There you go, that looks good. And then I'm going to secure this in with, again, the black 2.3 by 6mm screws all the way around. Best to put it in with the door open so it fits nice and flush in there. So I'll get these in. So now that compartment's in, it should fit flush on there, and you should be able to open and close. Now we're going to be putting the brackets on. The first bracket we look like is very similar to this one, but this, we want the thinner version of this, and as you can see, this has got an arrow on it. That arrow is going to face towards the white arrow that we got in the main body there, held in by a 2.3 by 6mm screw. So I get that one in. Then we've got one that looks like the letter L. It's going on the top there, again 2.3 by 6mm screw. And then finally we've got a larger one here, again the arrow facing towards the other side this time, so that fits nice and flush in there. And now it comes time to piece all of this together. So we have the arm section here looking like that. The compartment that we just made will be going on this side, and the one that we created earlier on will be going on this side here. So I've already put in this side here, and it's just a case of putting this side over the lugs on this side here. Just getting it all lined up, and again using the flange screws to fix this into place, including the ones on the middle here. to make sure that whole body is in place. And then pretty much we've done the whole body for R2-D2. So I'll get this in and I'll show you what I mean by that. So there you go, that's all in place, and as you can see, that's the front of the body complete. And because we've already done the back of the body here, just put this shoulder piece in again, it keeps falling out. That's the whole body done. Now how's that for accelerating? We've created that whole section there, and obviously we've got the body done. So I guess in the next few stages, the next 16 stages, we're actually going to be putting the whole robot together, so we actually get a finished R2-D2 like you see over there. Once again, if you want to get this for yourself, I have put a link down in the video description so you can get this all the way from pack 1. And while I'm at it, I just want to say a big shout out to Ramon Perez. Ramon, I'm sure you're the one that gave me that Maltese Falcon there. But thank you for that. But listen, I thought I'd give you a shout out because we have been chatting about R2-D2. But I really hope you liked that video. If you did, please remember to give me a thumbs up. And if you haven't subscribed already, please remember to subscribe. Other than that, take care.